Hello, welcome in everybody, and today we are here for a very exciting match. We're here for Eternal versus Synapse, and we're starting out with a singularity on Father Campbell's Chapel with Nightlight killing for Eternal. And I'm very, very excited to watch and cast this game, Rue, because this is maybe one of my last opportunities to see Eternal play before these big roster shakeups. So, how are we feeling about these games today?
I'm feeling super excited. We were even talking about it a little bit behind the scenes. Whenever a team picks a specialty killer and then you get to see them play that specialty killer, it's a treat. We all know that Singularity definitely high up on the list of specialty killers. Super crazy macro, super crazy micro. All the little subtle things that you do and immediately teleporting across the palette. And we also know that Nightlight's kind of cracked on the Singularity, so I'm super excited to see how they pilot.
I definitely agree. Nightlight Singu is always a treat to watch, and we are seeing Vobo on this first chase so far, avoiding that first tag for a while, but does eventually get hit. And I do really enjoy these singularity sets for those reasons you mentioned, but also they are so heavy on the teamwork aspect on the survivor side with EMPing for one another and being ahead of that EMP economy. But Vobo is actually going to take it down here in the carnival, and that was a relatively early down, and we are seeing this generator inside of main building being doubled, but that first chase was pretty quick for Nightlight, so that did not buy enough. That did not buy enough time for Synapse to pop that first gen. And if Nightlight is able to interrupt that could be very punishing. So right now, strong start for Eternal. Nightlight does have a hook very far off the map that we might see him try and contest here, and might be suspicious of this main building gen being worked. And yeah, we do get a slipstream onto that survivor there, but they do pop that generator. So I do think that was so high progress in only taking one tag. That was worth popping it, but they did not get that for free. We did see 2 slipstreams and an injury for that, as we are seeing the chase coming onto Jiggy, our Dwight player here. Very good hit by Nightlight. Rue, this game is ramping up the pace.
It really is. It happens a lot. It's almost like Caster's Curse with built in, immediately teleporting onto Dwight. However, that is going to be a balance line to give them some distance. One thing worth noting is that we're not seeing very commonly is this killer doesn't actually have Sloppy Butcher. So these tags aren't nearly as painful as they would be under Sloppy and making those resets really hard. But Meg's going to be running into the back here trying to get this unhook. However, it's not going to be a trade straight up. In fact, both servers are going to be able to get away, but now everybody's injured. I think, they missed the misclick there and unfortunately went to the main building. One thing worth noting though is that I think one of the reasons Jake's chase early on was so short is I think they got caught up in the I don't know, the carnival trailer. I think they forgot which side to get on, and that's why it ended up early. But regardless, right back onto the survivor. We're going to see an EMP rotate in at some point, as this chase is going to be really nasty for Jake.
Yeah, and I am enjoying seeing how Nightlight plays this so far. Very ambitious swing through that pallet, but Vobo does win that pallet there and get this done as we see the second generator pop in the distance. And we did see a moment ago, Nightlight slipstream Vobo again, and we do see that deep wound status effect. So Soma family photo is in play, and Vobo does not win that little cheeky slow vault play at the LT wall. So now this is a Death Hook survivor at 3 gens remaining. So unless we see a big juicer chase by Vobo or some very high level teamwork on Synapse on the survivor side here, I do think Nightlight may be able to get this tunnel out in the near future. We have less than 70 seconds before Vobo dies on that hook, and the survivors have a lot of tasks ahead of them. Our Claudette player has to mend their deep wound. They have to get reset. We also have 2 slipstreams and another injury. So right now, Nightlight just has so much pressure.
They really do. To the survivor's credit, they have had a little bit of good gen progress. 2 gens already out of the way, but like you said, now they're kind of trying to reset. Not a lot of pressure at the moment right now coming back on those gens. And worth noting too is like on a map like this where the line of sight with these pods are so clear compared to other maps where there's clutter, I'm not actually surprised that they have this much map pressure, honestly, for this kind of killer. It's a relatively small contained map in this regard. Not a lot of line of sight blockade. It feels a lot smaller. And getting a tag onto Jiggy. No, Uno coming in. I wonder if they're just letting the survivor die.
I think they are. On the board. Yeah, with 3 injuries on the board, I think like people think they know that Nightlight being the caliber of player that he is, with the death being so close to being complete, and all else survivors being injured, they know he won't. So Bobo is officially dead on that hook. That is a sacrifice at 2 gens remaining, and we have an instant teleport to an injured survivor and another down. And Rue, you know, sometimes we see situations where the game turns into a 3v1, but the survivors are healthy and they have a lot of gen pushes, but they're all injured. We're seeing a snowball. This could be game over.
Yeah, I think the thing that they were lacking is just the EMP economy. I think Nightlight is just really kept them down and out with the EMP economy. Because like I said, they've been teleporting all over the place, not giving the survivors any quarter. And yeah, we've seen the final teleport onto Meg. They've got the shack, but obviously not exactly what I think you want in this tile. Running around the long side of shack, trying desperately to find something, but again, I don't think the survivors are anywhere near, and they are still slipstream, teleporting on the rugs. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that actually is why that teleport went down.
That teleport was very close to tilting on and a hit on the shack pallet. So Nightlight
Mhm.
showing his skill on the singularity here. We are seeing why Eternal wanted to pick this bet, and we do see this last down coming in. And worth noting, there
Mhm.
isn't any unbreakable or anything like that allowed. So this will be a 4K tweak for Eternal, unless any bleed out happens. This should just be a 4 generator win con for Eternal on the survivor side. And Nightly just played this so well. And you did mention how this map is so wide open and pretty good for singularity. Traditionally, we are used to seeing this killer played on the Dead Dog Saloon,
Yep.
where that map is very small and also very wide open. But this game kind of surprised me a little bit. This is my first time watching the singularity played on this map, and I thought it would struggle a little bit more, a little bit because of the size of this map and how much larger it is than Dead Dog Saloon, and how survivors abuse the size of the map and dying in corners and things like that. But Nightlight was so good at placing these cameras in these critical choke points, and that even though the map is so big, he was able to just find these survivors with his camera. And I think just very good tactical positioning by Nightlight. So very well played on the killer side here for Eternal. And there were some very good chances by Synapse on the survivor side here, but as you said, I don't think they had not that EMP economy, and there wasn't, I think, enough teamwork in the mid game there. So I do think it's in this big snowball here. But regardless, I do think this is a very entertaining game to watch on both sides.
I would tend to agree. Yeah, it's hard to say when it because you're right. Father Cat or Dead Dog Saloon is very much where we see this killer played more often than I think I've only seen this killer maybe played once before on this map, and it's hard to say because like main building obviously is a lot more optimal to chase in just because you get those line of sight blockers, but the pod placement that I saw from Nightlight here tells me that at the very least he had to have loaded it at least once to this map and picked out a couple of places where they might have put it, because yeah, like Dead Dog, as far as I can tell, the camera place was pretty static, right? Like you got your like what 7 positions that you play statically and you got 3 to float.
Yeah, well, we did see Nightlight do something pretty similar there, and have a few that were around the main building and in those tall areas to oversee the places like the carnival. I mean, I did generally have a few ready to go. We did see him delete a few unnecessary ones, maybe by a completed gen that he didn't need anymore, and had some to go in chase and some critical points. But yeah, that is a strategy we do see a lot of singularity players do, and we did see Nightlight do that this match. And also, did want to say another thing. Nightlight has such good awareness of the map and of the killer. Knew where the EMPs were. I think one of those.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We're loading in for trial number 2 of the Father Campbell's Chapel Singularity Extravaganza. And honestly, I kind of vibe to this fit a bit more. So I think Jiggy definitely won the outfit war here. And okay, interesting. I'm really curious. Okay, so that's where they want to place that. Nope. Still deciding the purpose of the biopods, but regardless, curious to see how Jiggy fights this. Obviously, Nightlight put a pretty dang good result. Did they already disable that?
I think so. Yeah, it looked
Oh
like
my word.
it was turned off. Yeah, we are seeing the first chase come with the Nightlight here. I think that was an attempt at a balanced landing, but didn't quite get it off in time. So Nightlight will be taking the first injury, but Jiggy is actually okay taking that tag and not committing to this chase. Does spot out Spitz here, actually using that hook to block the line of sight of that camera, but is going to just go ahead and walk through his pallet. And oh wait, is Jiggy
What?
messing up their keybinds here? They're trying to. It looked like they're trying to destroy the camera while controlling it. I don't know if they were accidentally doing that or not. Jiggy, come on, get your keybinds right, man.
Oh, I'm so oh, that was. Wait, can you have overlapping keybinds to where one cancels out the other?
On Singularity, I didn't think so, but maybe
I
I'm wrong.
hope not.
I think, okay, my working theory is that Jiggy is trying to use the auto aim feature, and they think that they have to hold control after they take control of the camera instead of holding it to take control, because it looks like they're trying to auto aim but doing it too late. I think that's what's happening here, but hopefully they get it figured out soon. But right now we don't have any slipstreams, so for Team Eternal, these technical difficulties on Jiggy's part, this is turning out very good for them. We don't have any slipstreams right now.
Gotta say, yeah, the EMP economy is about to be bullish as Yeah, we haven't seen a single slipstream, which means they've had plenty of time to get as many EMPs as they want ready to go. And trying to get their first one onto Renato, but Renato's not letting him. Yeah, we even see Renato with the EMP in hand. And this is... Actually, is this a 4-lane into Shaq?
It looks like it is. It's
Oh, wow.
okay. Shack window is not orientated towards the 4-lane, but still a decent setup here. I think a filler pallet down there near 6 as well. And we do get Nightlights working that generator at main, and Hardwell working the gen at around 5 o'clock here, and we see a slipstream on both of them. But Hardwell already got rid of their slipstream and that camera as well. So as you mentioned earlier, that EMP economy, Eternal should be quite ahead of the game now with that slow start on Jiggy's part. And Nightlight does get teleported to here, and we do see the successful balance landing is going to run towards a carnival away from all the active generators. So a good chase for Nightlight, or a good spot for Nightlight to take chase here as we see him vault this LT wall and probably path back to this pallet over here. And yeah, Nightlight so far playing this very well. Nice and clean, very safe. The chemical trap. I feel bad for Jiggy, man. It's such a slow start, and Eternal is just ahead of the game because of how the EMP economy went at the start here. But attack on a Nightlight comes in, so we'll see if Jiggy can pick up the pace here. They do have some catching up to do with Eternal.
They absolutely do, and running back into this TNL wall, we see Ace might be coming in for a hit tank potentially, or just to EMP if necessary. No EMP in hand, just a good old-fashioned hit tank as the chain handles the EMP, but neither hit tank working out here. Oh no, the firecracker coming in, does it? It is perfectly timed, and that is going to be Nightlight getting away scot-free once again. Yeah, but I say that is a rough start.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate for Jiggy here. We do hear another generator, I think, in the main building that's very close to popping here, and another gen that gets completed as well. So Eternal is close to being at 2 gens remaining, and the main building isn't as high progress. I think it was the other one that we heard, but still, we have 2 generators done and 1 injury and no hooks, and yeah, we have this 3rd generator on the brink of getting completed. So Eternal right now, if they pop 1 more generator, that'll be Tycon. If they pop 1 more gen, they will tie this match, and if we just have 1 decent chase, the survivors don't even have to worry about unhooking or doing any of that. They can just prioritize these gens and confidently take the set. And Spitz is getting chased here near the shack, is running to this 4-lane, and does take a tag here, but does have an EMP on him, so we won't be seeing a quick teleport just yet. And Spitz just looping the shack here, and this is just a lose-lose scenario. If Jiggy loses his chase, Spitz is getting out of this safe, can reset, do what they need to do. But if they commit, then these generators will pop. So it's just it feels like a lose-lose. And right now it's already Tycon. So Spitz right now is just trying to buy some time for his team, playing this shack very well, clean check spot, and the 4th generator does pop. So that is officially a win for Team Eternal.
Can we talk about that teleport that just happened at Shack, where Ace positioned themselves so that Singularity like was way behind them, not even on the pallet, so it didn't break?
Oh yeah, Spitz, so good. Utilizing that chain ball again. Spitz still after that vault, similar to that play at the Shack pallet, to force a teleport on the bad side for Jiggy here. So very good mechanics by Spitz here. Just man has a PhD in Singularity chain ball, it looks like.
But I say this is the micromanagement skills that I'm talking about, because like obviously the killer has just as much micro, but the survivors have learned the micro as well, and so they're just like, yeah, no, this is a team that obviously with a killer like Nightlight you're playing against constantly for your Singularity scrims, you've got to know a couple things, and yeah, this is just I see completely why they chose this set. Singularity is just like that's their pick, hands down.
Yep. Definitely, and Jiggy did mess up that teleport around that window onto Spitz, and that bought Spitz enough time to get EMP'd yet again. So right now we do see the slipstream come back in, but Spitz is just looping around this LT wall. I think it's just a win-win for Eternal, because they can just take tags here when Spitz needs it, and this down isn't even happening yet.
True. I think they're trying to get them down through the mending bar, which to be fair is dangerously low, but they also are really close to completing it. Uh-oh, are they disconnecting? Oh, nope, I disconnected. I do too. However, unfortunate as the not able to get quite around and wrap around to get the hit onto Ace, and they're going to cut off and go after a different survivor. Obviously, they're trying to suss out who might be the Deliverance player, who might have those juicy second chance points that they want to deny. It looks like they're going to be settling for Adam here. Will likely be a tag around the logs. The question is, where do you go if you are Adam? It looks like they're going to the main building. Is the door on this side? No, it is not. It is actually open. However, we do see a little bit of undying value as we saw the aura early on in the game, and now we see more. Now it's going to be cut off. This is a possible hit here, but no, bouncing on the door once again and able to get around the corner and not going to take a tag. And oh my goodness, I cannot believe they managed to avoid a tag through main building like that.
Yeah, Jiggy unfortunately did bump a second time on that doorway, which did end up pretty much wasting a rush. So Nightlight was able to juke it and get that power on cooldown for a whole 10 seconds, but does get this power back, and Jiggy downs Nightlight within 2 rushes. And we did see, if I'm not mistaken, I think Eternal was tripling that gen. Maybe they wanted to go ahead and break a strong gen setup. So a little bit unusual to see a triple at the start, but they were able to pop it before Jiggy could interrupt it with Ruin or anything of that sort. And we do have the first hook on to Nightlight. So right now it does look like the survivors looks like they have 3 generators at the top side of the map and 3 generators on the bottom side of the map. So there is a loose 3 gen on each side, but tripling that 1 generator did get rid of a potential 4 gen situation in the late game. So right now Eternal is just thinking ahead, and right now Jiggy wants to find this rotation. They know that the Eternal will be splitting up and working generators on the bottom side, because we did see that there wasn't anybody crossing just yet. So Jiggy knows for a fact there's probably at least 2 people working generators bottom side, and they're looking for Deliverance. We did see a cheeky survivor in a locker there that I believe was our Deliverance survivor. So Jiggy is not able to find this rotation, and I think Zaka might be able to get this for free, or at least get it, make sure it's a last second trade before this goes second.
So I don't know if are you noticing the animation for this?
Yeah, I think Zaka's playing on the PlayStation 2. I'm very glad we got backwards compatibility.
Very, very interesting, and they will get the unhook, but Adam's gonna be left to their own devices as Zaka's slugged out on the ground, waiting for that 10 seconds, and they will take a tag. Going down, we see a second gen being... Actually, that's 2 separate gens going down for the survivors here on the Shack side. Well, it looks like Zaka is recovering quickly. That was likely an unbreakable play coming in, and it will be. I'm sorry, I'm just still kind of stuck on Renato looking like this.
Yep, this is definitely a sight for sore eyes, but we did see Zaka end up getting that unhook with Deliverance, and we did see Overcome to make sure that even if the Deliverance survivor gets tagged early on going for that unhook, they're still able to confirm the trade for Deliverance. So Nightlight is on this hook, about 60 seconds away from being eliminated, and we have Spitz working on a gen, and Hardwell is our healthy survivor coming up to the top side of the map and playing for this unhook. And Zaka did get caught in a bad spot, but very well played to die all the way in this corner to allow that opening for Hardwell to get this unhook. And we might see a further people come in. I wonder, I believe Hardwell was the further people survivor, and he was. So Nightlight is now healthy. This tunnel out was being protected for a little while longer.
Yep, and Hardwell taking, now we got 2 slugs and a survivor running for their life as they are death hook. And yet somehow I can't help but feel the survivors are, this is exactly how you want it to play out. This is how you get a 4K 0 and not a 4K 1, 4K 2. Trevor's doing a really good job here. And I think Nightlight actually left this all together. No, oh my goodness, did they stealth this?
Oh.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. No, Blight's a little bit too wise for the nun.
As old Tofu might say, Nightlight was Scooby-Dooing him for a second, but didn't quite work. Nightlight did end up getting fouled there and trying to force a pallet break, but Jiggy ends up getting the hit onto Nightlight there, so that will be a death now at 2 gens remaining. But Eternal is doing what they need to do. They are getting these resets off. Hardwell is still injured from that for the people, but we do see a med kit in his hands, so we might see Eternal play slow a little bit, wait for all these heals to come in before they start attacking generators. But I think this is exactly what they want. If I'm not mistaken, they did break all the dangerous generator setups, and they should be in a position to play this 3v1 out in a clean way where they can die where they need to and work safe gens. And right now Spitz was able to juke that power for a little while and will be taking a tag here. And Spitz is our life survivor, but if these rushes come back, don't think he'll be able to use it in time. He has to try and juke around this rock, and down I was going to say it down this early after that death isn't what they want, but Spitz playing pretty well there, and with a couple unfortunate bumps by Jiggy, that does save an extra few seconds, and yeah, Spitz is just dying corner here, and I love to see these death spots are always consistent with Eternal. They're dying in the most inconvenient spot possible for his killer, wasting another few seconds here and there to walk them down and to hook from far away. So well played by Eternal. On the bright side for Jiggy, we don't have a lot of generator progress. They did find those survivors before the resets got off. So Jiggy is in a position to still get a respectable result here, and we only have 2 survivors up right now that are able to work Jets. So Jiggy does have an opportunity to bring this back, but Eternal did get all his resets off, so nobody will be going down for free, and I think that is a shortcoming we saw from Synapse in the Singularity set on the survivor side. Eternal is making sure they are prioritizing these resets, so I'm interested to see how the rest of this game will be played out.
Yeah, one thing too that they did a really good job, even though the flight was bouncing there when they were chasing Ace, they did make sure that the rush ended in a way that denied access to that long wall, denying that live value to get away onto the bottom side where you want to chase outside of this 3-gen. So the macro playstyle is still definitely there, but like you said, this, I think you camp the second stage and then you go immediately back. No, Survivor is coming in for an early trade, and obviously you don't want to give Renato, as Renato was the one that got the pick earlier, and they are going to be able to zone though away. Oh, they actually take a tag. This is going to be a bad trade.
Oh, yeah, we saw scratch marks by main building. We saw scratch marks by main. We know another survivor is here. This. I think Eternal might have made a little mistake here by giving Jiggy this information. If Hardwell gets found, this might be game.
But I think they committed to that unhook a little bit aggressively because that tag was a bit further away from the hook. And with that really, really precise rush, they were able to generate it. Again, you could at least hold this to second stage. You got second stage. You can hold this for a little bit longer. And yeah, they do actually find Vittorio. All you got to do is keep Vittorio zoned over here. Don't let him get over to the other side, and 4K2 is secured. And 4K2 is a really good win con in favor of Synapse here. I was not what I was expecting. I thought the survivors could actually get a 4K0. Oh, but a great juke from Hardwell is going to let him get over, and that's going to be a reset coming in. Body blocks coming in as well, so they get this unhook. That is a recovery and a half.
Eternal doing Eternal things. They turn that situation back around, and Hardwell juking that one rush just completely saved the game there. That was a very, very good read, and now Eternal is back in the game. They could get a better result here than 4K2. That being said, Jiggy does have a lot of pressure. We have Spitz in the deep wound and 2 other survivors that are injured. So right now, Jiggy is still in a dominant position. All they have to do is just not get ran. As long as they don't get ran, they should be okay. But does go for an aggressive V1 tech there, and Spitz does not get hit by it. So Jiggy just trying to walk Spitz down here is going to try and play this palette. And I am curious if Eternal is just playing to split 2 gens now or double, and it looks like they're actually doubling. So one of them is going to have to get off here to rotate for this pull, but Spitz had decisive. That is so unfortunate for Jiggy. They are chasing the decisive survivor in the 3v1.
That is unfortunate. I didn't even see it coming in as I always saw the session change, and yeah, that they have to do this. This is the smart move by Jiggy. You've got to drop chase. You got to go to the bottom side to prevent this gen from firing. Ruin is going to be regressing it passively, and these survivors are injured, so you know there's still easy game. Unbreakable was already used on Renato, so if they go down here. Also, I'm just now noticing that they're even PS2 on Blight's perspective.
It looks like it, which is very interesting to see from Killer POV. But right now, all the Eternal survivors are on their feet. We don't have anybody down the ground. We do have Ruin regressing that generator passively, but now Eternal is just trying to turn this around the best they can. We have Spitz working a generator all the way at the top side of the map at around 11 o'clock, while I believe Zaka is down there at the bottom side. So they're pressuring 2 generators. They're on polar opposite sides of the map, and as long as they don't get caught out of position and give free downs, there's a very good chance one of these generators will pop with how they're spreading their pressure here. This one does have a good amount of progress, and Spitz is topside, slowly progressing that other one. And Jiggy knows Zaka's here. Doesn't know exactly where, but they're not
Zaka
there. They're
walked the other side. Yeah, Zaka went to the other side of the map. Like they're looking there and they're wasting precious time. Yeah.
I missed that, Rue. I thought Zaka was still bot side. Jiggy thought so as well, but yeah, exactly. That's not going to result in a tag. That's not going to result in a down just yet. Yeah, no. Zaka not getting found there was huge.
It really was. Yeah, Zaka. That might have been the Galaxy play, because you're right. You would think Zaka would stay in that area, keep pressure split between the 2 sides, but actually rotating opposite side was actually kind of. Might have been okay. We'll see how it ends up in the end, but that might have been a really big brain play, because now your Deliverance player is topside, which is where you want them to be, because if they go down, that's in the 3-gen, and they can get unhooked there.
Yep, precisely. Yep.
There's the reset too.
Yep, they're making it so if a death happens on the bad side of the map, it is deliverance, so they don't have to worry about sending a survivor up the map and getting seen crossing, because it is deliverance. So we did see those 2 resets come in, as you said. So Eternal, I really think a 4K1 or a 4K0 is looking like a very likely result now. Jiggy almost ended this a few minutes ago at a 4K2, but these recoveries from Eternal in the 3v1 have been just so satisfying to watch. It's called Eternal 3v1 for a reason. They're able to bring this back in such a crazy way. And right now, Jiggy just
but they saw Ace.
Is a little bit. Yeah, I was going to say, Jiggy is going to be a little bit lost here if they don't find somebody right now. And they do find Spitz. So this is going to be a tag. And Spitz is running towards the middle of the map here, kind of close to this hook. But I'm predicting a locker force here.
Ooh, great juke coming in.
Yes, he's going for this. No, he's actually not forcing a locker. He's just playing this chase. That was very risky, but Spitz actually being alive here paid off. And Zaka's just, I think, prioritizing that gen. I don't even know if Eternal is caring about this unhook right now. They just want to get this 4K1 win con.
Yeah, they want this chase to last as long as possible. And to be fair, I think the killer's kind of accepted. I think the killer knows that Zaka's jamming out that gen right now, and they're just saying, you know what? I just want this down. I want to ensure that I can get the 4K1, because 4K1 still a good result, but 4K2 obviously what you would prefer. And yeah, that is going to be a completed gen from the survivors. And I don't know, maybe if they could pull out, what Hardwell did and get a really crazy juke, they can make it over, get a safer pickup. But I think that's a tall ask, especially for a PS2.
Don't forget, Zaka has overcome. We might see him cook and do something.
Oh, true. They're going around the side to try and avoid the rush.
Oh, does he juke? Oh, he doesn't juke.
That was almost.
I really wanted to see that just for the content. But very well played by both sides here. I did see some little rushes that if they had landed, Jiggy would have ended this game at a 4K2. Just like little things, and Eternal just playing their chase so well, just forcing these mistakes to happen, and they're able to salvage this result from a 4K2 to a 4K1, which is still around an expected result for Jiggy on the killer side here, but that is going to be a lot more manageable for Eternal on the killer side, that they don't have to 4K3 for WinCon anymore. They'll just have to 4K2 or 4K1 to tie. So Eternal cranking one more generator out before they all died was it's going to be such a game changer in this second trial of the set, I imagine. And I think Jiggy is waiting to Mori this PlayStation 2 Hinatu.
I would agree, and I'm really tempted to see what this looks like. Oh, this is so cursed.
Dead by Daylight is a game.
That was phenomenal. That is everything I could have hoped for. But yeah, honestly, good result here for Synapse. 4K1, very admirable. Obviously, I think they would have preferred the 4K2, but 4K1 is still something you can try and take and at least tie.